Every 4 years, records get broken at the European Championships, and with the Euro 2024 upon us, it's not hard to imagine how many more records are gonna be smashed. There are lots of storylines to look forward to. Spain eyes new records while Italy seeks redemption. Portugal continues to put faith in Cristiano, while England looks to break their duck and win the tournament for the first time. However, despite everything going on, chances are that some Euro records may never be broken. Back in 2012, Spain rewrote the history books by becoming the first nation to win the Euros back-to-back. Following their 2008 triumph, Iniesta, Casillas, Ramos, Busquets, and the others were all balling, and it also just won the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. Their title defense in Ukraine and Poland saw them face Italy, the Republic of Ireland, and Croatia in Group C. And apart from that single goal, courtesy of Antonio Di Natale's cool finish, when Spain faced Italy in the group stage, La Roja didn't concede any other goal. They demolished Ireland, eased past Croatia, and drew with Italy to top the group stages. Spain then dispatched France in the quarterfinal thanks to a 2-0 victory. The semis came and Cristiano's Portugal held Spain to a 0-0 draw before losing to La Roja on penalties after extra time. While Spain's tiki-taka midfield and free-flowing attacks blew our minds, their defense somehow managed to be just as good. Spain dismantled Italy 4-0 in the final in what was a rematch of the group stage, and in the process created a piece of history that might never be broken, at least in our opinion. From a 4-1 win against Russia in 2008 to a 3-0 win against Turkey in 2016, Spain were unbeaten in the Euros for a total of 14 games. Defending the Euros is a record that is already hard to break in itself, but going 14 games unbeaten in a competition is one hell of an achievement that deserves a lot more recognition. With the current crop of players and competition, it is hard to imagine a team that is so superior to others. Agreed, France and a few other teams are running tables at the moment, but do you see them being unbeaten for so long? Back in 1984, it took Michel Platini only 18 minutes to net a hat-trick when France faced Yugoslavia in the group stages of the tournament. Platini was one hell of a player. He didn't run a lot like the likes of Cruyff and also didn't depend much on his physique. He was more technical than many people remember him to be, so it wasn't too surprising to see Pelé agree that Platini was the European footballer of the 1980s. Platini scored the first goal in the 59th minute with a left-footed finish to restore parity in the game. The second goal came shortly after in the 62nd minute with an insane diving header to give France the lead. The hat-trick was completed in the 77th minute as Platini finished off Yugoslavia with a stunning free kick from just outside of the box. Looking back at that 18-minute piece of history, it is indeed possible that a player pops up to score a hat-trick in less than 18 minutes, but it does seem quite unlikely at the moment. Which other record seems impossible to break at the moment? Cristiano will play in his 6th Euros tournament, having been in every edition of the tournament since his Euro debut in 2004. This makes it a total of 6 Euros for Cristiano. He was previously tied with Iker Casillas for 5, but even at that, Casillas didn't play in Euro 2000, and in 2016 he was only in the squad. Cristiano played in every edition of the tournament. With the Euros only being held once every 4 years, it is not very likely that someone will pop up to break Ronaldo's current record of 6 European Championship tournaments in the squad. Fancy Portugal for the title this year? No doubt. Ronaldo will be looking to smash a few more records while creating more history himself in what might very well be his last Euros for Portugal. Cristiano also holds the record for the most minutes played in the tournament finals at 2,153 minutes coming into this year's edition. Ronaldo will be looking to extend his current record, which only makes it more difficult for one to break. Not only is squad rotation a more common theme than before, but also the fact that you need your team to progress to the latter stages of the competition in so many editions of the tournament for you to have a chance at beating the record. And for such a player, he will be looking to surpass Ronaldo in terms of longevity, which is yet another extremely difficult thing to do. So yeah, this is yet another record that might stand the test of time. What are your thoughts though? Anyway, some of these records get even more ridiculous when you remember that a certain team conceded 14 goals in just 90 minutes. How did that happen? When France faced Gibraltar in their Group B qualification match in November 2023, we had no idea what we were about to witness on the scoreline. At least many of us didn't think it would be that bad for Gibraltar on paper. However, football isn't played on paper. France activated the nuke button on Gibraltar with 9 different goal scorers on the sheet. Kylian Mbappe got a hat-trick, Olivier Giroud and Kingsley Coman both netted a brace, with a few others getting on the score sheet. We might have to wait the next couple of years to see how the 2028 qualifying rounds pan out, but it looks unlikely that a margin greater than 14-0 will be on the cards. What are the odds? It doesn't seem likely. Back in 2016, the Xhaka siblings became the first pair of siblings in European Championship history to play against each other when Switzerland faced Albania in the group stages. How did that happen? You see, both siblings were born in Basel, Switzerland, into an ethnic Albanian family from Podujevo, so they had the opportunity to represent either Albania or Switzerland. With both siblings going the opposite way, it had to happen sooner or later. To complicate things all the more, 5 members of the Swiss squad could have found themselves representing Albania instead, while a staggering 9 members of the Albania squad were either born or raised in Switzerland. At the time, Kosovo was not yet a FIFA-recognized member when the qualifying began, so it was a memorable occasion for the 3 nations, with all 14 of those players eligible to represent Kosovo. At this point, it's pretty safe to say that we are not likely to see such a situation play out like this in the near future. Meanwhile, England has found themselves in a really weird situation over the last few decades. You see, you wouldn't be totally wrong to call England the unluckiest team in the Euros, usually coming into tournaments with an absolutely stacked squad of some of the best players in the world. The 3 Lions have somehow found a way to lose at times, and now they have a record which they won't be too proud of. On 3 occasions, England have been eliminated from the Euros without losing a match. No other team in Europe has suffered the same fate. Back in 1996, the 3 Lions hosted the tournament and had the likes of Alan Shearer, Paul Ince, Gareth Southgate, and David Seaman to rely on, but they went on to lose on penalties to Germany in the semi-finals. What an absolute bummer. But fast forward to 2012, and history would repeat itself. England, determined to erase the shame of missing out on the 2008 edition, started the tournament on a solid note with Wayne Rooney, Ashley Cole, Steven Gerrard, Theo Walcott, and Joe Hart all running the show. But unfortunately, they fell to Italy on penalties in the quarterfinals. It doesn't get any worse. You don't have to look too far back to see that England suffered the exact same fate at the Euro 2020 tournament, where they lost to Italy on penalties in the final. Now that's one record no nation would want to have, for sure. But which of these crazy Euro records surprised you the most, and what are your predictions for Euro 2024?